Tom Brady gave his list of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Did Brady get it right? We'll talk about that and much more. It is the Jake Asman Football Show, which starts right now.
Oh, yeah. It's the Jake Asman Football Show. Brought to you by BetUS. Sign up now and triple your bonus. That's 125%. Now let's get into some NFL football. Presented by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. And here's your host, Jake Asman.
Oh, yeah, baby. Here we go. Welcome into another episode of the Jake Asman Football Show, where we talk all things NFL multiple times a week. Thank you for your support. And, of course, thank you to BetUS for being our presenting sponsor. Let's talk about Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady, an arch nemesis for basically every fan in the league for many, many years. Brady's about to enter his first year as a broadcaster with Fox on the number one team with him and Kevin Burkhardt. And Brady did an interview last weekend with Stephen A. Smith at Fanatics Fest right here in New York City. Tom Brady touched on a variety of different topics, but he was asked by Stephen A. for his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League right now, according to Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes being number 1. Give me 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I see Josh Allen as someone who's always impresses me as a player. I see Lamar Jackson, who always impresses me as a player. Some different guys probably have different moments.
Right.
Joe Burrow is very impressive the way he throws the ball and leads the team. Again, another guy who's got a great connection with his teammates.
Right.
I'll leave it at those 4.
Right. I'm going to throw Aaron Rodgers in there.
Of course.
It's just me. One of the great pure passes the game has
Absolutely.
ever seen. I'm going to throw him in there, and the man knows the game inside out.
I'm very interested to see how Aaron comes back and performs this year and you know how dedicated and committed he is to being a great quarterback again. He had a year off. I believe that it would be very motivating for him to do that. But again, that's why they go play. And again, I think for all of us, we can analyze before the point. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to them to go out there and prove to us, right or wrong, whether our decisions or judgments or hypotheses about them are right.
Okay, so Brady gave you 1 through 5 with the help of Stephen A. injecting his own opinion into things. But once again, number 1, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, do we have to spend any time on this? No. Mahomes is the guy until proven otherwise. In a quote-unquote down year for him, he still won the Super Bowl and was Super Bowl MVP. Statistically, he wasn't great. Didn't have the best weapons. And it didn't matter because when push came to shove, Patrick Mahomes makes everyone better, and he won his team another Super Bowl. Number 2, Josh Allen. Now, look, if you're ranking quarterbacks, putting Josh Allen at number 2, I get it. I just need to see Josh Allen do it come playoff time. But that's kind of the thing with this list. A lot of the guys we're ranking here have not had a tremendous amount of playoff success. Number 3 on the list was Lamar Jackson. Case in point, Lamar Jackson has won 2 MVPs. He's never played in a conference championship game. Lamar Jackson does not have great playoff numbers. He was not good in the He was not good in the AFC title game against Kansas City. I guess I got to reframe. He has been to a conference championship game. He's obviously never been to a Super Bowl. Lamar at number 3. I mean, regular season-wise, sure. I think the problem with lists like this is what's it based on? You know, if you're doing a regular season list, doesn't Dak Prescott have to be in the top 5? I mean, he was second in MVP voting last year. But Dak has not had the playoff success. Number 4 on the list is Joe Burrow. If I was making my own list, I think I'd put Joe Burrow at 2. And you could say, well, Jake, Burrow's coming off the injury again. And I would say, yeah, but he's the one guy we've seen go head-to-head with the best in the league, Patrick Mahomes, and beat him. I know Burrow has not won a championship yet. There's a guy who's been to a Super Bowl. He's beaten Mahomes multiple times in the regular season, and he beat him in the playoffs. He beat Josh Allen head-to-head. You tell me Burrow's healthy, which I guess right now we can't definitively say because there's reports out of Cincinnati he can't throw 2 consecutive days just yet. How do we view that? And then number 5 on the list, this will be controversial to some, but not to me. Number 5 is Aaron Rodgers. Look, you tell me Aaron Rodgers is healthy, which he is right now. You tell me Aaron Rodgers is motivated, which he clearly is right now. I could see Aaron Rodgers still being one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. This to me is more of a Brady showing respect after Stephen A. kind of teed him up. But if you're not putting Rodgers here, Rodgers is not that far away from being in the top 5 on your list. I mean, you tell me the quarterbacks you're putting in front of A-Rod. You're going to put Brock Purdy that high? I don't know if you can. We haven't seen enough from Purdy. I don't think to put him that high. CJ Stroud, after 1 year, you're going to put him in the top 5? I don't know if you can. Jared Goff, you could put him ahead of Rodgers. Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray. So you go through this exercise here, and I could see the argument being made for Rodgers. Now, look, Aaron's going to have to prove that 2022 was more about the lack of weapons and the broken thumb on his throwing hand. I think Brady can relate a lot to Rodgers, right? Rodgers didn't want to be in Green Bay that last year. You could tell it had gotten stale. That was Brady's last year in New England, where his stats were below Tom Brady standards. They lose in the wild card round. People think he's washed. He's done. At age 42, mind you, 3 years older than Aaron, Brady left and went to Tampa, and he was rejuvenated by it. And we saw how it played out. It ended up leading to a championship. Difference is Rodgers never got that chance because it lasted 4 plays for him last season with the Jets. But if you tell me Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I still think he is capable of being a top 5 quarterback in this league. I think he's certainly in the top 10. Now, if you don't want to put Rodgers at 5, I would probably personally move Stroud and Goff a little higher. I can't put Herbert in the top 5. I just can't. I know he's got the stats and the arm talent. I need to see it. And he's got a real coach there now. Maybe we will. Jalen Hurts, after the way last year ended, I can't put him in the top 5. I can't put Tua there. I need to see it against good teams. Stafford, bit of an older player now, some durability stuff. I mean, it's kind of hard to find a 5th quarterback, right? I think the first 4, in whatever order you want to put them, I think that's fair. Mahomes has to be 1, so I can't say whatever order you want to put him. Mahomes is 1. After that, you have to have some order of Burrow, Allen, Lamar in your top 4. But at number 5, you could argue Purdy. I wouldn't do it, but you could argue it. Guy's been to the Super Bowl. Guy went out there and was phenomenal last season statistically. Stroud had one of the greatest rookie years, if not the greatest rookie quarterback season ever. Goff was phenomenal last year. But, man, I just feel like it's hard to kind of argue who that 5th quarterback is. Who would you put at number 5? Because I have no issue with Tom's list. I really don't. I think 1 through 4, you need to have Mahomes at 1, and then 2, 3, and 4 has to be whatever combo of Allen, Jackson, Burrow you want to put. But are we missing an obvious one here? That's the question. I mean, I can't put Dak there. We've seen too much in big games where he hasn't been up ready for it. I can't put Purdy there yet. Goff was awesome last year. I can't put him there yet. It's kind of like by default, you put Rodgers there because you're banking on the pedigree, but he's also 40 coming off injury, so I would understand why some might not put him there. You know, it's interesting. ESPN reporter Jeremy Fowler, he spoke with executives, coaches, GMs to get their opinions on the top players at every position. And when he did the top 10 list for quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers came in at number 8. On Brady's list, he's at 5. I mean, it's interesting. You have 1 through 4 pretty much established. If this list came out a year ago, Jalen Hurts would be in the top 5. But now he's not in the top 5. It's fascinating to see what you would do with this list. William Sprague checks in with a super chat. Thank you, William. William writes, as much as we all hate Brady in New York, he is a beloved in New England and Tampa, and I believe a lot more of us will respect him after this year. Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't think Brady was going to be a good broadcaster. hearing him post-retirement talk about football in various interviews, I think he's got a chance to actually be pretty good. So I might have to take the L on that take I had when it was first announced Brady, who's never been a broadcaster, is being paid $300 million by Fox over 10 years to do it. You know, his analysis has been pretty good from some of the different clips I've seen of him on shows and whatnot. Sam says Dak is a dark horse. Look, Dak to me, there's no doubt if you're judging it just on the regular season, he's a top 5 quarterback in every metric. Look at the stats. Second in MVP voting last year. But can you really put Prescott in the top 5 when you know how it has ended for the Cowboys during Dak's playoff careers? I don't think you can. Now, for what it's worth, Peyton Manning also gave his list of top 5 quarterbacks too to Stephen A. Smith. Manning's list was Mahomes 1, Burrow 2, Justin Herbert 3, Lamar Jackson 4, Josh Allen 5. And this is what I mean. I understand Justin Herbert has enormous talent. I get it. I understand it. I cannot, under any circumstance, put Justin Herbert in my top 5. Not yet. He hasn't proven anything. He hasn't proven a damn thing. So Justin Herbert can't be in the top 5. He's never, ever won anything of consequence. All these guys on the list have either MVPs or Super Bowl. Herbert's been to the playoffs once in his career, and his team blew a 3-touchdown lead. Skills Baby with a Asmaniac super chat here on the Jake Asman Football Show. Rodgers will be QB1. Zach Wilson will be QB5. Duh. I'll tell you what will not happen, Skills Baby. Zach Wilson will not be QB5. He will not. Robert says, what has Allen proved? Well, Josh Allen has been to an AFC championship game, and he has finished in the top 3 in MVP voting, I believe, multiple times. He's accomplished more than Justin Herbert. Dan Hops with a super chat. Longtime listener, first time super chat. Much love, Jake. Love the content. Love the interviews with Broadway Joe and Fireman Ed. LFG Jets. Dan, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching the Jake Asman Football Show. Hennessy says, I'll take Herbert on the Jets right now. Oh, no question, you would. The talent is there. I just don't agree with Peyton Manning putting him at number 5 on the list. In fact, Peyton Manning didn't even put him at 5. He put him at 3. Now, the similarities in Manning and Brady's list is that they both have 4 of the 5. The difference is Brady has Rodgers, Manning has Herbert. But they each have Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, and Allen. That's why the who's the 5th best quarterback in football debate I think is interesting. Because you could debate, 1 through 4. You really can't. I'll say it again. You really can only debate 2 through 4. 1 is Mahomes, right? Mahomes is 1. You could put Stroud at 5. He's played 1 year. You could put Dak at 5. The playoffs lack of success is a non-starter for me. I need to see Goff do it for another year before I put him in the top 5. I don't believe in Tua. Beat a good team, win a game in cold weather, then we could talk. So you want to put Jordan Love in the top 5? I mean, he was good for 8 games last year. Yes, he played really well down the stretch. Yes, he was great in the playoff game against the Cowboys. Is that enough? So it really is interesting. You rank the top 5 quarterbacks in the sport. We got 4 in whatever combo you want. After that, I don't know. Speaking of quarterbacks, why don't we hear from former NFL quarterback Michael Vick?
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
Link is in the description, folks. 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. You're watching the Jake Asman Football Show. that is being presented by my friends at BetUS Sportsbook. Once again, link in the description. Sign up bonus 125% up to $2,000 with your first 3 deposits. Thank you to BetUS for being a part of today's show. Curb Church says, Jake, what about the bottom 5 starters? No one ever lists them. Yeah, this to me is an interesting question, right? Bottom 5 starters in the league. I feel like you have to remove rookies, right? I mean, if you count rookies, it's so tough. But if we're ranking the worst 5 starters in the league right now, Gardner Minshew's got to be in the conversation. He was just named the starter with the Raiders. Sam Darnold has to be in the conversation. Daniel Jones has to be in the conversation. So that's 3. I mean, if I'm removing rookies, Anthony Richardson's an unknown right now. I feel weird putting him in that. He's not technically a rookie anymore, but he barely played last year. I could give you 3. I mean, if Jacoby Brissett starts for the Patriots, which it looks like he is, he'd be 4. I mean, is it crazy to say Bryce Young? I mean, I got to say Bryce Young, right? I think we got the 5 right there. I think it's got to be Minshew, Darnold, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, and who was the other one I just said? Doing this off the top of my head here. I didn't prepare for this question. Minshew, Jones, Darnold, Bryce Young, Brissett. Those are the 5. I mean, it's tough. You know, Minshew would be like maybe the best backup you could have, but he's still a bottom 5 starter. If you're not counting rookies. Now, if we're counting rookies, there's a good chance that we see Jaden Daniels struggle or Drake May struggle eventually. Or, I mean, Michael Penix is not playing and McCarthy's hurt already, so I guess scratch that. But, you know, I think Caleb will be okay. I don't think he's going to be nearly as good as some are hyping him up to be as a rookie. I think C.J. Stroud's greatness last year puts an unreasonable expectation on a lot of these rookies. I think C.J. Stroud basically has now changed the way we view the expectations for rookie quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud had such a great year out of nowhere. Remember, the Texans were thought to be the second worst team in the NFL going into the season. That's what the betting lines reflected. They win 10 games, win the division, win a playoff game. Now everyone thinks, hey, you draft a quarterback in the top 3. You know, that guy's going to be the next C.J. Stroud. And that's not fair to Caleb Williams and Jane Daniels, who both are obviously going to start for their respective teams. Drake May might not start at all. But you know what? If he comes in eventually and doesn't look great, that doesn't mean he's going to be a bust. C.J. Stroud is a major anomaly. Most rookie quarterbacks stink. And just because they stink as a rookie doesn't mean they're going to be bad. Everyone knows the Peyton Manning example. He threw 28 picks as a rookie. But there's other great examples too. Josh Allen wasn't good as a rookie. He wasn't. Check the numbers. Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer on that debacle as a rookie. He stunk. Then he got better. And he's not great, but he's good. He's solid. You could win with him. Tua wasn't great as a rookie. So you go through it. Most rookie quarterbacks don't play well. And now it feels like everyone's expecting Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels to be C.J. Stroud. And it's like, for every C.J. Stroud, more likely than not, there's what Bryce Young went through last year. That's kind of how it works. A lot of times, rookie quarterbacks don't play well. It happens. Lamar Jackson didn't look great as a rookie. Then by his second year, he was winning MVP. So I think when it comes to quarterback play, when you're breaking down the top QBs, we make such rash judgments after just one season with rookies, and we got to show some patience. That's the bottom line. You got to show some patience. Hit the like button if you're tuned in right now. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in live. You're watching the Jake Asman Football Show, brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook. We talk NFL football multiple times a week. This is a new show, different than the daily show I do covering the New York Jets. So an opportunity to do something else on the channel here, talking all things NFL and not just focusing in on the team that we spend the most time on, the New York Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the history of the Jake Asman Football Show, we bring on our first caller on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. We say good afternoon to Charles Gorman. Hello, Charles.
Hey, Jake, how are you?
Hey, Charles, how are you?
Good. So Tom Brady put on his top 5 QB list, and I'm guessing Aaron Rodgers just made the cut.
Aaron Rodgers is at number 5.
I can respect that.
Great take, Charles. Thank you.
Listen, I know the preseason game wasn't that great, but I'm sorry.
What's wrong, Charles?
Nothing's wrong. It's just that I'm trying to think of something to talk about.
You know, typically when you call into a show, you come prepared with takes or a question or something that you want to bring to the table. You know, typically you don't come up with it on the fly.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm guessing Patrick Mahomes paid number 1 on the list.
Patrick Mahomes is, in fact, number 1 on the list. Yes.
That just makes sense. He's the best QB in football right now. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best player in football. No offense to Tyreek Hill, but to me, Patrick Mahomes is still the best player in football.
Yes, I would agree, Charles. What'd you have for lunch today, Charles?
I just had a protein bar to hold me over.
Very nice.
I mean, my father told me just got home. We just got back from Costco. We did some shopping.
What are you having for dinner?
I have no idea, man. My brother should be home soon. My mother, I think, is about to get her hair cut. And anyways, hope you have a good day, Jake.
Charles, thank you very much for being the first ever caller in the history of the Jake Asman Football Show, brought to you by BetUS. What a program, folks. Comment down below your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Brady gave you his. We told you Peyton Manning's 5. Who are your 5? 5 best quarterbacks in football. Once again, I want to thank the audience for tuning in. Use my link in the description and sign up for BetUS Sportsbook, and you have options beyond options on anything you basically want to bet on. Props, sports, you name it. It is all there. Thank you once again to BetUS for sponsoring the Jake Asman Football Show. That does it for me. Thanks again for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. And of course, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. This has been the Jake Asman Football Show.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.